sometimes it works. What do you know? Welcome to another round of soccer down here for a Thursday. It's Thursday Thoughts. Anything on your mind? It's a Thursday Power Hour. We are with you until 10 o'clock to get you through yesterday and into today. And we have a lot of action to talk about from yesterday. And Europa League, Europa Conference League. We'll go through all of your TV choices and anything else on your mind. So once again, everything is wide open for the hour as we get you ready for your Thursday here. John here, Jarrett possibly there in a little while. You know, it's all that real world working stuff that gets in the way sometimes. So it'll be us this morning until further notice. So morning peeps, yes. Last night was Atlanta United 2 and Memphis 901 FC up at the Fraction, and Memphis 901 FC natural hat trick by Philip Goodrum, by the way. And it was let's see, Philip Goodrum, Laurent Kisidu, Luis Fernando, Chris Allen. Let me know if I forgot anybody, but a lot of memories with Atlanta United 2 over wearing the dress whites for Memphis 901 last night. And big win for them as they solidified their place in the USL Championship postseason in the East. Also solidifying their places of, who else got in last night? Birmingham got in last night. Pittsburgh got in last night. So a couple of other folks. Let me double check, because we had a handful of matches last night, and let's see who is now officially in the postseason. So it's Lou City with their result, the 2-2 draw with Tulsa. Memphis 901 with their win. Tampa Bay is in with their last result, so they're at 54. Pittsburgh and Birmingham both at 51, and right now Tulsa has 5 matches to go. They're going to have to run the table, and Miami FC and Detroit City are going to have to do some major collapsing, because right now in the East, 6 and 7 are at 44 and 43 points. That will be just probably determining position when it comes to the postseason in the East. FC Tulsa right now, 35 points. They've got 8 points to make up, 5 matches to do it. And Detroit City also has 2 matches in hand over FC Tulsa. The Miami FC has 1 match in hand. So 5 of the 7 slots in the East have been decided. And Atlanta United 2 finishes their homestand with a win and 2 losses, but dominant performance from Memphis 901 last night. Ben Pierman, you have to tip your hat. When we caught up with him, I want to say beginning of last year, he was dealing with a shorthanded roster. And when he started his run and has been there, and they have solidified the ship, and they are going to be a pain for everybody that they face in the Eastern Conference with the firepower that they have, Philip Goodrum up top, and just the pressure defensively that we saw from Memphis 901 last night. So a lot of stuff to look at for Memphis 901 in the postseason. In the interest of equal time in the West, it's still an absolute fight. San Antonio is the only team that has clinched a position in the playoffs itself, because they've got an 8-point lead with 7 to go over San Diego Loyal. San Diego Loyal's at 52. Here's where the fun begins. And you can always catch up with us on SDH on USL Championship every week, usually posting Tuesday afternoons. San Diego's at 52. Colorado Springs is at 51. Sacramento Republic at 43, New Mexico United 42, El Paso at 40, Vegas Lights at 37, Los Dos at 36, Monterey Bay at 35, RGV at 33, same with Roots, 2 less wins, Phoenix Rising at 32, and Orange County SC at 28. So no one has been eliminated in the West right now from any kind of playoff contention. So the Western Conference, that's going to be a sprint to the end. Red Bulls 2, Atlanta United 2, Charleston Battery have been eliminated from playoff contention in the East, but the East looks like it's settling 6 and 7 with 6, 7, and 8 currently chasing. And the reason that I bring that up, first and foremost, other than the fact that we were there, was we had the opening, we had the Open Cup, U.S. Open Cup last night. And all hail, and actually, let me stop right there and say that this is our opening kickoff, brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. right here over my right shoulder for those of you watching on Twitch, right there. That's your QR code. And for those, once again, who like your morning coffee, go to our friends at Kickoff Coffee CO, kickoffcoffeeco.com. Follow them at Kickoff Coffee CO, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. There's your QR code. So reminder, and once again, everyone, thanks to everybody who has gotten their morning started with our friends from Kickoff Coffee, that if you use the code SoccerDownHere15, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase every time with Kickoff Coffee. But Kickoff Coffee, in turn, will take 10% of their proceeds and reinvest it into the youth game. So very, very cool stuff that we're doing with our friends at Kickoff Coffee. So the reason I started with USL Championship was to get into the opening kickoff. All hail, all overlords in the U.S. Open Cup, the Sacramento Republic. Great win for great run for Sacramento Republic, making it to the last game in the U.S. Open Cup. The team that they faced in Central Florida last night got the win. Facundo Torres, you got to see the quality of a player like Facundo Torres once Benji Michel was subbed in the second half. But it was interesting on the drive home last night. So a trophy goes to Central Florida, but a great run by our friends at Sacramento Republic. And they took some MLS teams out of the tournament before they got the chance to go all the way from one end of the country to the other to chase after a championship. But it was interesting driving home last night and listening to Glenn Crooks and friend of the show, Dylan Butler, as they were calling, by the time we got into the car and we were heading home, by the time that they were calling the end of the NYCFC Cincinnati match, which ended in a 1-1 draw. And we'll go over the playoff indicators and the standings in Major League Soccer after that match and see how much changed in the East. A little bit changed, and we'll get to focus on that. But it was interesting to hear Glenn Crooks, friend of the show, and the network, talk about the possible abdication of the trophy if it is determined that there was some cheating going on, that the individual that decided to wander over to the public park and watch Sacramento Republic practice had any impact whatsoever in some manner, way, shape, or form in bringing back intel, which, of course, the team in Central Florida denied. That no, he wasn't there for us, and he didn't gather any information, and we didn't get it. We didn't ask it from him. So it was interesting to hear Glenn Crooks talk about, they could possibly take the trophy away. Then the question to the floor is, does it revert to Atlanta United again as the last champion, or does it just have like that block of abdicated, removed, or whatever? When you look at the table of everything that you have your list of U.S. Open Cup trophy champions, and then for 2022 it says abdicated, removed, whatever word you want to put in there, no champion. And no explanation as to why on that one-liner of the bar graph as to, or the PDF file as to why something like that happened. But it was interesting to hear Glenn Crooks mention the possibility of having the trophy removed from Central Florida. So my first question for you guys this morning, and thank you for those of you that have already started the conversation in the Twitch pitch. It is a quiet day from the team side on the two pieces of team news that we talked about yesterday with Miles Robinson, Joseph Martinez. I know that you guys are having your conversations about Joseph in the Twitch pitch. And like I said, that's why I like watching the conversation, the earnest conversation that you guys have every single day about topics, whatever they are. So Thursday thoughts for the next 45 minutes, go ahead and send them into the Twitch pitch and work your way through. And like I said, we'll get into comments and any other Thursday thoughts that you have on your mind. There's some stuff happened overseas. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Get into juice boxes. We'll get into that just a little bit. But a bit of a loaded question. What's on your Thursday thoughts? And if it is shown that there was some cheating going on, what would you do? You are the soccer guru of everything soccer for the Department of Redundancy Department. Let's phrase it two ways. What do you think is going to happen? And I know what you guys would want to have happen. What do you think is going to happen? Let's do it that way. What do you think is going to happen with this? Is it going to be A, nothing, B, something, C, an abdication, D, somewhere, all points in between? So let me know what you think is going to happen, even though we all know what with the team in Central Florida, what we would like to have happen if you are a fan of Atlanta United watching the show this morning. So, Abby, yes, my son immediately said cheaters, and they were not the only. Your son was not the only one. So, we'll get into that in just a little bit. Once again, we'll spend the tail end of the show with what you guys are thinking on the Twitch pitch, unless I catch something as I'm blowing through everything that happened yesterday and getting you ready for everything that is going on today. All right, so yesterday. Probably the biggest piece of news that came was during the show in and of itself. And Graham Potter has agreed to become the new Chelsea head coach following the Thomas Tuchel sacking. How awkward is it if you're at Brighton and yesterday you have your team photo, and in the middle of the team photo, Graham Potter is right there. And I mean, this is like in the morning. Everybody's at the Amex. You're in your home. You're in your home kit. Graham Potter is there. He's right in the middle of the picture as your manager. And then Chelsea comes knocking on the door. Excuse me, Mr. Potter. We'd like to have a discussion with you. So if you could please work your way up to the nearest tube, or we'll get a helicopter to come get you. And we'd like to have a discussion with you, sir. So if they sent a helicopter, so let's just say they sent transportation. Let's just say that Bowley Clear Lake sent transportation to go catch up with Graham Potter. If you are Brighton, do you open the gate? Yes, this is the car that is. This is the car that has come to pick up Mr. Potter and take him to Chelsea for a discussion with Mr. Bowley and everyone at Clear Lake. If you're the guard at the gate at Brighton, or if it's at the Amex, or if it's the training facility, what do you do? Is there word from the inside? Is Pascal Gross sitting there? It's like, don't you let that guy in. What happens in that case? What happens in that case if you're the guy at the gate? Do you play nice? You sit there, all right, the gate goes. You open the gate, and the car comes in, and Graham Potter. You just see Graham Potter drive off in the passenger seat or in the back seat or whatever with his representation. Or do does Potter walk outside the facility, outside the training facility, or outside the Amex? He's just standing there on the curb waiting for. Is he waiting on the curb for something to happen? It's like, my Uber, my Uber from Bowley Clear Lake is supposed to be here in like 8 minutes. Todd, my driver, is supposed to be here in 8 minutes, and he's just standing on the curb. That's that would be the that's my thoughts with Graham Potter right now. And so right now, Graham Potter verbally agreed to be the new manager at Chelsea after the sacking of Thomas Tuchel. Met with Todd Bowley for talks. Both sides reached an agreement. I can't wait to see what the compensation package is for Brighton. Once again, remember Thomas Tuchel was sacked after the loss to Dinamo Zagreb in Champions League. 100 matches on the nose, all comps. 6 games into the Premier League season, just under 600 days. They met in central London. Positive talks to develop the whole football operation, according to our friends at Sky, continued early Thursday morning. Okay, so this was long and involved. Focus on the legal details of his contract and the backroom staff. This is what happens when you don't have any caffeine yet. No contracts have been signed. Both sides reached a verbal agreement, prepared to meet Brighton's exit clause figure for Potter. Of course, yeah. And then Mauricio Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane. Well, we know that Zidane wasn't going to take it. I would have thought that Pochettino would have been your number 2 or your 1B. Sporting Lisbon manager Ruben Amorim also on the radar. First managerial appointment of Bowley Clear Lake. Todd Bowley still acting, remember, as sporting director after having moved on from Marina Granovskaya, chairman Bruce Buck, performance advisor Petr Cech. And it was interesting, Jamie Carragher this morning. And Jamie Carragher over at Fox says it's a very ruthless club, and I'm not sure that Graham Potter is the right fit. Maybe Chelsea are saying they want to do things differently in the future in terms of having a coach in charge rather than a manager, or they do things behind the scenes differently. But if I was Graham Potter, I would find it very hard to believe that they're going to do things differently. They just got rid of a manager 6 games into the season. It's a huge step up in his managerial career. That is true. Chelsea are still one of the top clubs, still world champions, but you fear for Graham Potter. He'll be in the same boat as every other Chelsea manager has for the last 10 years. Unless he gets results instantly, they'll be getting themselves another new manager in 12 months. Might be a little longer than that for me. You figure he gets this season, maybe a second, but no, the results have to be instant. And that was why that we were raising the question yesterday with the whole idea of Graham Potter taking this gig. Do you want to be in an environment where you are welcomed? And that would be interesting too. The first time that Chelsea comes to play Brighton, what kind of response does Graham Potter get? That's a question for me. When Graham Potter goes to Chelsea, Chelsea has this set of expectations. Bully Clear Lake didn't drop $11 billion on a franchise just to sit there and say, yeah, we'll be okay. No, they want results. They want instant results. They want to continue to grow and evolve what's going on with Chelsea. And I fear, much like Jamie Carragher, that Graham Potter is walking into a buzzsaw. So I fear that Graham Potter is walking into something where if the results are not instant, beyond instant, and for those of you who are Chelsea fans here in the Twitch pitch, let me know what you think, that Graham Potter is going to be chewed up and he is going to be turned into a fine pulp in very short order. And in the end, was it worth it? Yeah, you want to sit there and say, yeah, I managed Chelsea, but yeah, it was for another, 18 months or what have you. And you didn't give them the results that they were looking for. I fear for Graham Potter in the sense that at Brighton, he was given the keys to the car. And yes, he's one of England's top managers, but I wonder, how much of a leash he's going to get at Chelsea. Where at Brighton, I think that it was, all right, Graham, do what you're going to do. We've got a great financial model in place. Then it's everything that lays itself out right there. Everything is all in place for you if you're a Graham Potter at Brighton. But right now, if Graham Potter goes to Chelsea, that is another recipe entirely and another set of expectations entirely. And I just fear that he is going to be in and out in a very short period of time. I don't know if he makes it to 100 matches in 600 days. I really don't. So great to see that you guys are having a conversation about Atlanta United. Yeah, no doubt, Michael. He'll get chewed up in 2 years, but he and his family financially set for life. True. No doubt. And so I know that you want to embrace that kind of a challenge. I know you do. But I just wonder if the results aren't what Bowley Clear Lake want, whatever that expectation level is, how long he's going to be manager. So that was one of the biggest pieces of news. It kind of broke yesterday. And that's where we are with Graham Potter. And yesterday in the Champions League, Ajax put 4 on Rangers. Atletico Madrid beat Porto 2-1. Barca put 5 on Victoria Pilsen. That's not necessarily a surprise, but I think that group is going to come down to goal difference, and Victoria Pilsen is going to be the one that's going to get beaten up of all 4 in that group. Bayern Munich beats Inter 2-0. Tottenham beat 10-man Marseille 2-0. Richarlison got a goal in that one. And Napoli over Liverpool by the score of 4-1. 4-1. That was one of the biggest surprises yesterday. All of the issues came to the fore, equaled the biggest defeat that they have suffered in the Champions League, and it could have been worse. Alisson saved a penalty. Virgil van Dijk cleared one off the line. Napoli's substitutes couldn't get anything once the match was 4-0. You've got a lot of Liverpool fans are looking at Joe Gomez, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, and Andy Robertson said after the match, "We were miles too open. You cannot come to a place like this and not be compact," end quote. So it was a lack of pressure. And Jurgen Klopp said, if I was, and I think this is paraphrasing, if I was Wolves, who they're playing this weekend, I would be laughing. So we'll see what happens there with Liverpool. Harvey Elliott, James Milner's coming up on the age of 37. Luis Diaz was the one who came in and scored the goal when they were down 4-0. They were down 4-0 for a couple of minutes, and then Luis Diaz scores to make it 4-1. So, yeah, that was the shocking result of the day. But if you ask Nicolifi, not necessarily as shocked that Napoli won, maybe the result, but big win yesterday for Napoli and Champions League and group stage. And we'll get into all of the matchups going forward here in just a little bit. Other news of the day, we'll get into that as well. So I forgot to close out that this was the opening kickoff brought to us by our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. As we talked about the possible abdication of a trophy with the alleged cheating, possibly, maybe, probably, by personnel from Central Florida. So once again, kickoffcoffeeco.com. Here's your QR code once again for those of you watching on Twitch as I tuck my fingers out of the way finally. So there's your QR code. And if I ever need to bring the QR code closer, let me know. And then what I will do is I will take scissors to the banner here and I will flash it in front of the camera a little closer than the way it is. Then once again, Kickoff Coffee CO on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Soccer Down Here 15 is your code. So don't forget, Soccer Down Here 15 gets you 15% off of your purchase for Kickoff Coffee. Kickoff Coffee then in turn takes 10% reinvested in the youth game. Very, very good stuff. So very cool from our friends at Kickoff Coffee, kickoffcoffeeco.com. All right, getting close to the bottom of the hour. So let me go ahead, and since I'm in promo reading mode, we'll go ahead and read promos. And so let me see if I can do something here. You know, traditionally music's at 50%, but I don't want it to be that loud as I read the promo. So we'll go. And I thought it would be at the beginning. And I don't know, for some strange reason, it doesn't reset. But, you close the music off and you're thinking something's resets every single time, but it doesn't. But for odor-free, clean, fresh air, Lemonized service is where you need to go. QR code for those of you watching on Twitch over my left shoulder. Deodorizing enclosed spaces like houses, apartments, and condos, the Lemonized service has created a customized solution that eliminizes all organic odors, including those like pet cigarettes and food. Realtors and property managers use a Lemonized service to eliminate bad odors to help them sell or rent their homes that much faster. It's a turnkey process. Makes it easy to work with realtors and property managers. Kind to the environment. We like that these days. It's a green way to get rid of odors without any kind of toxic residue whatsoever, different than Febreze or our other masking agents that we have either in the cupboard or under the sink. Because when we open up the cupboard or when we go under the sink, bring out that masking agent, spray it in the air. That's why they call it a masking agent, because all you're doing is masking the odor. You're not attacking the problem all the way down to the molecule like our friends at Lemonized do. It's a proven scientific formula. Destroying odors down to the molecule, pricing easy, one of two ways. By cubic feet or parts per million to come up with a price that is affordable for you. Offering results in 24 hours or less. If you have any questions, frequently asked or otherwise, where do you go? You go to the website. Address over my left shoulder if you can't read it, lemonize.com. But do us a favor here at SDH, go /Atlanta after the .com so they know what part of the world that you are addressing them from, that you wish to have them attack your issues, because I didn't want to end the sentence in a preposition. So your full homework assignment, ELIMINIZE.com/Atlanta, lemonize.com/Atlanta for odor-free, clean, fresh air. A Lemonized service, proud sponsors of everything SDH. Once again, QR code. The entire show is on over my left shoulder. So there you go. As we fade the music. So we'll see how it comes back up tomorrow. So once again, thanks to our friends at Lemonize. Thanks to our friends at Kickoff Coffee at kickoffcoffeeco.com for hanging out with us this morning. So getting back to your early comments about what happened last night. Once again, no news about any updates with Joseph Martinez, any public statements on Joseph Martinez or Miles Robinson. We all have our sources for information. What I would suggest and what I would ask of you is when it comes to your sources of information on any kind of a story, doesn't matter if we're talking about what happened yesterday or period. Any story that comes across your bow, don't just lock into one source. We try to do things journalistically here. When it comes to actual news, yes, we do have fun. Yes, we do have stories and we do have guests and opinions and things like that. But when it comes to journalism, that's what we try to do. We try to make sure that we have more than one source, more than one piece of information locked in, and make sure that all the information is heading in the same direction before we say anything or we break anything on our own. Try to be as journalistically appropriate here as possible. So we know where the team stance is in regard to both of those issues. There has been no additional information, no additional thoughts that have popped out from either side and on both issues. And when we have more, obviously, we will let you know more when it comes to those two particular things. Abby had a front office meeting that went long. You're excused. Remember, next one's in 3 weeks. The season home finale is in 3 weeks as Indy 11 comes to town. So I want to see as many of you can. And I know it's a Wednesday night, but we'd love to see all of you out there one last time this season for Atlanta United 2. They've got a couple of games on the road. Then after the match against Indy 11, they go out west for 2 to finish their season. And you tip your hat to Jack Collison and the staff for being a part of trying to build something with a lot of the young guys that Atlanta United 2 has. You've seen Noah Cobb develop. You've seen a guy like Nelson Orji step in, and he has done really well. He's become more comfortable with what he's doing. Luke Brennan, you see what Luke Brennan has been doing. A Johnny Fortune getting adjusted to wearing the captain's armband after Robbie Mertz left to go to Pittsburgh. And Robbie's doing well there as he went back to the franchise that he was with before he was brought in for veteran leadership with Atlanta United 2. You saw Tristan Traeger get off to a hot start. You're seeing Jackson Conway with 10 goals on the season. You're seeing guys like Justin Garces and Vicente Reyes do well between the sticks. You saw the college guys, the guys who are now in college, who started the season with Atlanta United 2, guys like Grant Howard, Andy Sullins, guys like that to get their reps and get adjusted to going up against guys who are 10, 12 years older than they were, going up against those kinds of things. So it's great to see all that stuff. Great to see all of you guys, and it's great to see the development of Atlanta United 2's players in general going up against these adults. And once again, 3 weeks from now, the 28th, Indy 11 comes to the Fraction one last time, so that'll be your home finale. But it was a rough one last night for Atlanta United 2. Memphis 901, they are going to be a force in Major League Soccer. Last night in Major League Soccer, you had the one match. We kind of got into it a little bit, and I apologize once again for going around and around in circles when it comes to topics. You know me and my scatterbrain. It's like, ooh, squirrel. Then we go back and find another topic. Last night, it was a 1-1 draw with NYC and FC Cincinnati at a plus 316. So how does that adjust things in the East? Right now, you have Philadelphia at 60, CF Montreal 52. Red Bulls now are at 47. Orlando and New York City's at 46. So a point closer for NYC. They were at 45. They're now at 46 in fourth place. Both Red Bulls and NYC have played 30 matches. Last night's match was at Citi Field. Orlando City, 2 matches in hand. And if you ask the Sacramento Republic or Inter Miami, they're not too happy about having 2 matches in hand for Orlando City. Sacramento Republic played and lost. And Inter Miami was supposed to play Orlando. And Coach Neville, less than pleased about not being able to. So Orlando City right now is in 5th, 4 wins on the spin at 42. Columbus is at 40. They've drawn 4 of 5. They're just kind of single pointing their way up the table. FC Cincinnati's the same way. They're not distancing themselves from the rest of the group. They're at 39 with that point from last night. Revs have gotten 4 points in their last 2. They're at 38. Inter Miami's lost 2 in a row. They're at 36, but they've also only played 28 matches. Toronto, 30 matches played. So after they play this weekend, they will only have 3 more matches left in their season. They have 34 points, and they've only gotten 1 point in their last 2. They've only won once in their last 4. Atlanta United, they've lost 2 in a row. They're at 33. They win, they go to 36, so they're within shouting distance with 4 matches to go. Charlotte's lost 4 of 5. We think they're regressing back to the mean and to their expectation of being competitive in the East, not making the playoffs. They've only drawn twice this year in 29 matches. So they've got 5 matches to go. 32 points, and they are 2 wins ahead of Chicago Fire. And right now, Chicago's drawn their last 2. They're at 32. And then DC is at 26. So that's your look. Atlanta United, 6 points out of the playoff picture. But a lot of folks within a lot of space with each other as they're chasing after 6 and 7 as the closest ones on the board when it comes to your playoff spot. So that's where you are with Major League Soccer. Reminder tomorrow is the weekend whip around, patent pending, trademark coming, probably, hopefully, maybe. because you've got Friday Night Football with CF Montreal hosting Columbus Crew, and then you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 matches on Saturday before midweek action again, and it's Tuesday, Wednesday, if my math is correct, September 13, September 14, where you have 8 matches in that 2-day period, including Atlanta United's road trip to Orlando in the midweek, a 6 o'clock start on Wednesday night. Odd start time, but that's when it is in Orlando City, 6 o'clock, and don't be surprised if weather holds that one up, because that's just me thinking out loud this time of year. So that's where we are with activity in the Eastern Conference. All right, so let's get into, since we're talking about the franchise in Central Florida winning a title, as we continue to loop our way in, through, and around everything, because I'd mentioned what the discussion was with Glenn Crooks and Dylan Butler last night on NYCFC and FC Cincinnati. Let's see. Will Atletico Porto got into the wine last night and goalless at 90 minutes, finished 2-1. A lot of you have comments on Joseph this morning. Let's see. Great game for 65 minutes, talking Open Cup from Abby. Disappointed Orlando won, and what are the ramifications of their sending someone to Sacramento's practice? Don't know. That's why I was wondering. What is the level of the investigation going to be by U.S. Soccer? Is it going to be just something where you sit there and you get a finger wag and go, don't you do that? Don't you do those kinds of things? Don't you do that? Or is it going to be, my guess is, you're going to come up with some kind of an investigation. Orlando will have, as they stated yesterday, some kind of plausible deniability. They'll sit there and they'll go, well, he wasn't authorized. He wasn't an authorized representative for us. He came back with no information. We didn't ask him for any information. He didn't volunteer it. Maybe a fine, a slapping of the wrist or something like that. But it was interesting to hear Glenn Crooks talk about an abdication of the trophy if it does turn out that individual was there. And the fact that, and this comes from the Jeff Carlisle article, that Sacramento moves 2 vehicles in front of their practice, and the individual allegedly who was there walked around those vehicles and continued to be there. Said, no, I'm just waiting for a friend. And after they move the vehicles in front of practice, individual moves around the vehicles. I'm still here for 30 to 45 minutes. They asked dude to leave. Dude didn't leave. Is it, no, I'm just here for a friend. I'm not here, I'm not here watching your practice for my club as you're, going up against my team for a trophy or anything. That was not what was reportedly said, but 30 or 45 minutes of disagreement. And finally, after 45 minutes, dude leaves after the posting of vehicles in front of practice. So who knows? Like I said, probably a wagging of the finger and a fine. Rack, please take away the Orlando trophy. And Patrick, yeah, that would be hilarious and or classic Orlando. Patrick, who am I wearing this morning? So just so you know, Patrick, who am I wearing? There you go. Quick look. Let's see. Will, as much as I dislike the Purple Kitties, I think it would be immensely dumb to take it away when you're practicing in an open or public space. If someone wants to come watch it or film it, sucks to be you. And yeah, and I mean, that's part of it too, where Sacramento didn't want to do anything attached to an Orlando facility. And so Intel, I guess, got out. Hey, they're over here at this park. Come and take a look. One of those kind of things. Abby, once again, Sunset Cheaters. Let's see. Rack. Nothing. Jack crap is going to happen, the official term from Rack, because they have zero faith in karma at the moment. 5 stripe, nothing's going to happen. Abby, think nothing, want no trophy. Patrick, does U.S. Soccer Fed have any protocols in place for cheating, and how is it proven? That's the rub. When you have, when you have something going on, it's like, all right, you cheated. Well, you have to. I think you have to have the preponderance of the evidence that somebody cheated more than anything else. And it's like, prove that you cheated. Well, our guy was just there. He was hanging out at a park. It's a public space. And I think that's probably, main part and parcel to the whole thing. That I don't know. I assume, Patrick, that they do have protocols for cheating, but the biggest thing, how is it proven, especially since you were in an open space? You couldn't call, IMG or Montverde or anything like that and schedule a practice or something. I know you go to a public park, just trying to get something done logistically, trying to get something done in a hurry, maybe. I don't know. Shiva, nothing will happen. They lifted the trophy. Hang on just a second. So, Do you think the USS Soccer Fed is going to do something, Michael Head? No. Five Stripe Dog. New England's Bill Belichick gave Orlando tips. And Patrick says at least there'll be stench of cheating associated with their trophy, which is appropriate. And stench being a good word with the smelly cat, smelly cat. What are they feeding you? We have definite thoughts about that. Michael Head, 17 million reasons Brighton opens the gate. No doubt about that. We were talking about Graham Potter. I know, Emilio, you have some stuff about Atlanta United. We'll get into Atlanta United as we get toward the end. Back and forth continues. Yeah, Potter agreed to be the next Chelsea scapegoat / whipping boy. Not wrong, like I said. You want that kind of a challenge put on your resume? Yeah, I was at Chelsea. We did blank, blank, and blank in my time there. Yeah, but you only lasted for 18 months. Well, I mean, that's pretty much how it was with Roman Abramovich. And, Roberto Di Matteo wins a title. Yeah, you're out. Very quick triggers, nothing new with a new ownership group. And I found it interesting that you have a lot of media sitting there saying the ruthlessness of Bowley Clearlake. This is how Chelsea's acted ever since Roman Abramovich was owner. Trying to bring in guys, you're bringing in shiny objects, you're bringing in all the firepower. And if you don't get the results, then see ya. That's just how it's been. The fact that you have an ownership change doesn't mean that the mentality is changing. And we see that there. Alex, I'm guessing this is why Pulisic was not made available for loans this window. Todd already had his move ready, didn't want to let a piece go. Yeah, apparently this discussion had been happening for quite some time, even before they got rid of Thomas Tuchel, that they were thinking about getting rid of Thomas Tuchel long before they did. And so you have to have these pieces in place. And there were the discussions, Alex, about where Bowley Clearlake wanted Thomas Tuchel to be more active in discussions and be a part of the conversation. And the one telling instance where Bowley was interested in Cristiano Ronaldo, but Thomas Tuchel had to continually sit there and say, no, I don't want him here. And I understand the frustrations of a manager in that situation. It's like, no, I don't want him here because of XYZ. And you have a new owner who sits there and who's really the sporting director at the moment. It's like, well, what about Cristiano Ronaldo? No. What about Cristiano Ronaldo? No. What about Cristiano Ronaldo? No. And you just kind of get tired of that kind of stuff. So I can definitely understand where it's coming from. More stuff on Atlanta United with Rack. Yes, Michael, you're right. When it comes to the salary. True, Alex, that is definitely that is accurate. Today's not the day to mention abdication. Full disclosure, I have off to my left, I have Sky News on my television because I'm keeping track of what's going on with Queen Elizabeth, and we hope that that things are, as that they are treating her with the best of care and as possible. But obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on what's going on with Queen Elizabeth. Also, on the board. Parzival, someone who doesn't read papers or go out of their way to go to websites to read news all the time. What do you mean by 3 or 4 letter news sources? Parzival, I mean, just different sources. I mean, don't get your when it comes to newspapers specifically. When I discuss the news of the day, there are 2 newspapers overseas that I don't pay attention to because of their sensationalism and their tabloids. It's the one that starts with an S and the one that starts with a D and an M. Those are the 2 newspapers that when I go through all of our stuff and all the news overseas, I don't pay attention to those 2 newspapers because once again, it's like sensationalism and they might be right eventually, but I'm not going to pay attention to the S newspaper or the DM newspaper. But when it comes to just information in general, and I hope that makes sense. The S newspaper being the one that the Liverpool fans want nothing to do with, especially after Hillsborough. And it having to do with the thing that rises in the east and sets in the west. And the DM newspaper, meaning something that happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and when you have that box that gets your bills outside your home. So I don't even want to give them their true names. The thing that sets in the thing that rises in the east and sets in the west, the 3-letter S newspaper and the DM newspaper overseas. I don't reference those when it comes to any kind of news because of their sensationalist nature. But when it comes to sources in and of itself, just don't stick to one newspaper or one thing. Listen to the radio, watch TV, go to your favorite websites, newspapers, things like that. Just get all of your information together. when it comes to that kind of stuff. But now 3 or 4 letter news sources specifically have to do with 2 newspapers overseas that I'm not going to give the time of day when it comes to their reporting. So hopefully that helps. I know. Why was I using words too early? All right. Yeah. 4Card. I could put the QR code picture on the Twitch pitch in Twitter, but that would be kind of technology for me. So I'll see if I can figure out how to do it. But I mean, if I legitimately have to sit here and go like this, for the reads, let me see if I can. There we go. So if anybody wants the QR code for Eliminize, let me know, because what I'll do is I'll do this and I will get the QR code right up there for the picture. So Eliminize I can do. I've got to work on Kickoff Coffee, so we'll work on Kickoff Coffee if it's anything like that. Yeah, that would be something like that. No, I did mean, Parzel, I did mean the English publications when it comes to not giving them the time of day. Yes, whenever John says mask, I think of Halloween Jason. Yeah, journalism. I know, we can't have that. Yes, Michael, I believe he has his pre-match presser today. Doubt very seriously that anything will be addressed when it comes to the current situations. 5 stripe. No offense taken, but it's and it's a point that we will continue to make here. Jason's fighting long COVID, and it sucks. And there really isn't anything that you can do about it except try to manage it and fight it as best you can. And that's what he's doing on a daily basis. And his health and his welfare are first and foremost part and parcel what matters. And for him, it is to make sure that with all of his play-by-play commitments, whether it's with college or Atlanta United or the Twos or what have you, that he is as healthy as he can be to do those matches. And it takes a lot out of you. And for those of you that know folks who have been, fighting COVID, who have been fighting, who have friends who've been fighting it, and especially gotten long COVID. I've got friends who've had it 3 separate occasions and who are going to be looked at by physicians, for long COVID and after effects with what's going on in their lungs. But no, it is something that Jason's fighting on a daily basis, and he needs to be as healthy as possible when it comes to all of the stuff that he does with Atlanta United and Georgia State and the Twos and Oglethorpe and all those kinds of things. So that's why it is you and me and Jarrett and all of our guests so far. No word on any kind of a date for a return, but just keep your best vibes aimed in his direction as he continues to fight it. And it's something that, once again, it's something he fights on a daily basis. So that's why it is me learning StreamYard. And I hope that you guys are, thank you for being as patient as you are when it comes to me and fighting all this stuff. So I just had the rowdy boy hit me in the ankle with his tail. And I don't know why. Okay. He just rolled over. But plan for next year, Abby. Will the Twos play at KSU in MLS Next Pro? Don't know yet. We're still trying to figure out what the designs are going to be for MLS Next Pro. And when we know, obviously, we'll let you know. It will be interesting for the Twos to go into MLS Next Pro because, we were talking about it yesterday before we went on the air. You're in a situation in USL Championship where you are the underdog most of the time, unless you're going up against another second team. You're going into a situation in MLS Next Pro where you're probably going to be the favorite most of the time because of what you've been developing through the academy and what you're seeing with Atlanta United too. And it will be an interesting watch next season to see Atlanta United 2 dive into MLS Next Pro and go up against all these other academies, because we've seen what's been going on with Atlanta United 2. They make the trips to Dallas and all the academy tournaments and things like that, and the successes that they have. I mean, going up against Manchester City and Sevilla and stuff like that, and Dallas tournaments and things like that. So don't know yet, but it will be interesting to see the turn where the talented Atlanta United academy players are going up against other academies. And there are teams that have not devoted any time to their academies whatsoever, and they will be exposed when everyone in MLS is in MLS Next Pro. But don't know the plans for the Twos right now when it comes to next season. But when we know, obviously, we will let everybody know. Yeah, Parzival spots 5 through 7 may come down to decision day. No doubt about it. And I think you're right on. Let's see. Once again, clear and obvious to me seems like MLS may be consulting pro on how to make their decision. Let's see. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see as I scan through here. Let's see. What a fun game of Taboo to start my day, Justin. Thanks. Yep, U.S. Soccer Issue 5 Stripe. No worries. Hope to help in some manner, way, shape, or form. All right, so Parzival, here's where we get into the 3 and the 4 letter avoidance when it comes to stuff overseas. All right, let's see what's going on today and what's been going on in the papers. So once again, avoiding the 3-letter paper, the shiny one that sets in the east, that rises in the east and sets in the west. Wow, if it's set in the east, we'd really be in trouble. Daily Telegraph. Thomas Tuchel will receive close to a £7 million payoff for the remainder of his Chelsea contract, which ran until 2024. He'll take some time off before deciding where his next role will be. Yeah, £7 million will do that. Mikel Arteta has hit back over Bernd Leno's claim that he left Arsenal because of, quote, politics, end quote, pointing out the numerous opportunities that the German had at his 4 years at the club. At The Athletic, Tottenham Hotspur's managing director Fabio Paratici believes the club have reduced the gap to Premier League high flyers Manchester City and Liverpool. Avoiding the 4-letter paper, going to the Scottish Sun, a 9-year-old Celtic fan was burned after he was hit by a flare that was thrown during Tuesday's Champions League match. And Ross Stewart has been ruled out of upcoming UEFA Nations League fixtures. And that'll do it for the morning paper. So not a whole lot going on this morning because of all of the competition going on today. So we'll get into that and any other final thoughts that that you guys have this morning before we head out. Just to let you know, Thursdays traditionally will just be a power hour because of the commitments that I have for high school football. For those of you that want to turn over and watch that version of me, that's at noon on the GPB Sports Facebook page. Hannah Gooden and myself take you through the world of high school football, get you ready for the weekend that will be, and it's starting tonight, actually, on a lot of different cases because of the weather that's anticipated tomorrow and Saturday. So if you're in an area close to your favorite high school team, then once again, keep an eye on your schedules because of the activities going on. Your games Friday and Saturday, a lot of rain is being put in the forecast. Things are being slid to Thursdays. And so keep an eye on your favorite high school team. But yeah, noon o'clock. So noon Eastern for those of you around the country that want to watch high school football talk. GPB Sports Facebook page, Hannah Gooden and myself for the review preview. And then we're taping Recruiting 2022 later the afternoon. And that is a very, very busy Thursday afternoon. Nico Moreno, we will check and see. We'll go. Don't be surprised if we go live with Nico again, like we did last week, probably in the 5 o'clock hour Eastern time. And it's fun to take that half-hour sprint for what's been going on in and around Major League Soccer. We'll get Nico's thoughts on everything, and we'll get you ready from his perspective, from the West Coast perspective. So we'll keep an eye on when Nico is good to go, and that will probably be live on the network later this afternoon as well. So keep an eye out, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock Eastern for Thursdays with Nico. Also looking forward to Al the Rage from our buddy Mateen Rod. He will have that posted, everything you needed to know about Kennesaw State. That'll be up on the network later today as well. And then we'll get you ready for your Friday, 8:45. Remember, 8:45 start, because we want to get through the weekend whip around patent pending trademark coming before 9:30, which is when we have the Friday free kick. And I think it's Michael Parkhurst's turn to discuss things with our friends from Beyond Goals Mentoring and to go through the world of mentoring. And perhaps after Michael, if the stars align, we might have some other stuff going on before we get you through your weekend preview with all of the action going on. So let's get you into today and get you into viewing parties and viewing habits. So let's go there first, because Europa Conference League starts at 12:45, and then you've got Europa League, Europa Conference League all afternoon. So you've got women's soccer on the ACC network. beIN Sports has the Copa Sudamericana with Sao Paulo and Atletico Goianiense. If I could get my upper plate to work, that's at 8:30. College women on the Longhorn Network, beIN Sports in Espanol, simulcasting Copa Sudamericana. Liga MX on Fox Deportes at 10 with Juarez and Monterrey. Europa League at 12:45, simulcast Tudene and Unimas. Zurich and Arsenal, Manchester United, Real Sociedad. The question today for Manchester United is Cristiano Ronaldo's start for Manchester United against Real Sociedad. ACC Extra and the B1G have a lot of college action, as does ESPN Plus, starting 3 o'clock in the afternoon, working its way all the way through the evening with also some NCAA After Dark action. Paramount Plus has Europa League all afternoon long. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 matches in Europa League on Paramount Plus, plus another 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 Europa Conference League matches at 12:45 and 3. Argentine Primera División 5 and 7:30 with a doubleheader. Independiente Aldo Civi, Argentinos Juniors, Rosario Central, Unión Santa Fe, and Sarmiento. And then SEC Network has women's soccer. VIX has Europa League, has 2 matches there. VIX Plus has a lot of the Europa League matches and Europa Conference League matches. So that's your Thursday viewing habits. And if you want to catch up with anything on Fanatis, fntz.co/soccer down here. Get you Fanatis. Jason got me hooked. And you should too, for all the action going on in South America. So just looking at some of the big names that are in Europa Conference League and at Europa League. Villarreal at 12:45, a big favorite. Başakşehir on the road at Hearts, even money at a plus 100. Fiorentina, a big favorite at 12:45. Vienna's a big favorite over Hapoel Beersheva at 12:45. Nice is and Cologne right now, they are pretty much within the margin of error. Nice at home a plus 156. Draws a plus 240. Cologne's a plus 167. Europa League at 12:45. Arsenal, big favorite at Zurich. AS Roma, big favorite at Ludogorets Razgrad. Real Betis, a favorite at HJK. Braga, a favorite at Malmo. PSV, a big favorite at home against our buddies Bodo Glimt. Fenerbahce, a favorite at home against Dynamo Kiev. Rennes, a favorite on the road at Larnaca. Union Berlin, a favorite against Royal Union SG at 12:45. Then you've got league action going on in Europe and in North Africa. Conference League, some of the big names, once again, Slavia Prague, a favorite on the road at Sivasspor. Basel, a big favorite. West Ham, a big favorite. AZ Alkmaar, a big favorite at Dnipro. Apollon Cyprus, a favorite on the road. Molde, a favorite at home against Ghent. Djurgården, a favorite on the road at Shamrock Rovers. And Slovan Bratislava, a favorite at 3 o'clock at home against Zalgiris. Europa League, Manchester United, a minus 167 at home against Real Sociedad. Lazio, a favorite at home. Nantes, a favorite at home. Omonia Cyprus, a favorite at home against our buddy Sheriff Tiraspol. Midtjylland is a favorite on the road at Sturm Graz. Karabag, big underdog on the road against Freiburg. Red Star, underdog at home against Monaco. Ferencváros is a favorite at home against Trabzonspor. South America kicks in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, as well as Central America. Liga de Expansión at 6 o'clock. CONCACAF League is at 6 o'clock as well. Our buddies Motagua have a home match against Tauro of Panama. They're a minus 135 on the board, so something else to have going on tonight on FS2 probably. CONCACAF League at 8, Real España from Honduras against our friends Herediano. Herediano is a favorite on the road at a plus 154. And Copa Sudamericana, Sao Paulo and Atletico Goianiense. Sao Paulo's a minus 256. And your CONCACAF League third match, Durianjan from Nicaragua, is a home dog with Olympia from Honduras visiting at a minus 111. So let's see. Before we go, since we are coming close to the top of the hour, Shiva, based on my relocation experience yesterday, things looked good for fans' commitment to the club. There was not much available. All right. So, yes, thank you, Abby, for this. Correction from the other day. It's Maccabi. Okay. Second syllable. Okay. So, Maccabi Haifa. Okay, because I thought it was Maccabi Haifa. Maccabi. Okay, so second syllable, Maccabi Haifa. Gotcha. Okay, Maccabi Haifa. If I've got that right, let me know. Maccabi Haifa, and I know that the Haifa, Maccabi Haifa. Okay, so yes, having phlegm, not Maccabi. Thank you. All right, I'm all over the place with that pronouncer. Trust me. So, Parzival, thank you, and thank you for the compliment on that stuff for the halftime. It's been fun to be added to that this year, and basically, it's like doing a 3.5, 4 minute sportscast with Beth Keener, and she's an absolute joy to work with, as is everybody at Mercedes-Benz. And this is one of the things that. This is one of the things that I really like to point out is that it really does take a boatload of folks to make something like that happen and do it well. We have production meetings. We have we're supposed to be there like way early, and we're there way early to get a look at everything. And legitimately in the production room at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I'm closing my eyes to see if I can figure out how many folks there are. You're probably talking 25 folks in a room, plus all of the cameras that are there, and you have as many as 10 cameras. So we have a production meeting 4 hours before kick, and you're talking about 36 folks in a room. And it's a staff of about 70 at Mercedes-Benz to get everything that you see on the Halo board all afternoon, all evening long. It's like a staff of 70. And the crew sheet literally is about that big, and the font is not that big. And it is it's a joy to work with them. They put up with me like nobody's business, and it took them a while to realize that I have 3 conversations going on simultaneously. When we're getting ready for that stuff at the half, when the game starts, we have a monitor where I'm watching the match itself, and I'm either listening to Mike and Jason, or I'm listening to the network broadcast if it's on television. And so I'm yelling back at the TV. I'm talking to my producer on my headset, and I'm talking to everyone else in that room. So Beth Keener and the 4 or 5 other folks that are there in the room, our stage manager, they're off to the right-hand side. They're sitting at a table. They're minding their own business. And I'm having like conversations with them, conversations with the TV, and talking to my producer all at the same time. It took him a couple of matches to realize that I was having simultaneous conversations to make that 2.5, 3.5, 4 minutes work with Beth. But no, they do a fantastic job, and they put up with me like nobody's business. And if I had a note card, actually, I do have a note card. So when we get close to the end of the show, I'll do that ending too. Once again, thanks to everybody for all your comments. I know that a lot of you are having the discussion about Joseph Martinez this morning, and we'll obviously continue to monitor that as we go forward. And mentioned what's going on the network later today. So just keep out your alerts, and man, we can hope, Michael. We can definitely hope. Shiva, I think it's pretty much when it comes to Qatar, Qatar, tomato. They're just not going to call the whole thing off. So I go Qatar until somebody sits there and taps me on the shoulder and goes something different. So once again, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us for the Power Hour. Very, very busy day. I think I covered everything that's going on coming up this afternoon. Newcastle's in advanced talks with Loris Karius after an injury to Carl Darlow in training. So sorry, Alex. Looks like you might be chasing after another keeper. And WSL starts this weekend. Diego Costa, the appeal went Wolves' way. So it looks like Diego Costa might be signing with Wolves. Jordan Pickford is out a month, so that does not help things with Everton. And reminding me of Everton, Kazoo, the sponsorship for Everton, and I think 5 or 6 other teams in Europe. Let me double check this before we go. Was it with Bob Williams, I think, from Sports Business? So let's go Williams Bob on the Twitters, and I apologize for doing this live, trying to find a particular tweet that happened. Let's see. Where was it? Okay, so it wasn't there. So it wasn't Bob Williams. So hang on just a second. Let me see if I can find. Oh, it was Tannewald, I think. So Jonathan Tannenwald, I'm guessing. So hang on, almost there. And it's sponsorship news, and that's why I thought it was important. Okay. Kazoo is shutting down their business in the EU. Okay. So currently the jersey sponsor, Real Sociedad, Valencia, Lille, and others in European football. So it was founded in 2018, sold over 50,000 cars in the UK as far back as June. It was Real Sociedad, Valencia, Everton, Lille, Freiburg, and Bologna. So that's where Kazoo was sponsored. You know, if you look in the background, you see the Kazoo, and the A is in the shape of a car. So Kazoo is attached to those 6 clubs. Kazoo is shutting down their business in the EU as they are the jersey sponsor for a half a dozen clubs. So we'll keep an eye on the jersey sponsorships with Everton and a couple of other folks. And right there with you, Abby, wishing good health, healing to Her Majesty the Queen. We'll keep an eye on that as we go. But once again, thanks again, everybody. Very, very busy day today, busy day tomorrow. And 8:45 start. Reminder, 8:45 start, so we can get the weekend whip around patent pending trademark coming there as a part of it all. And Beyond Goals mentoring at 9:30. And we'll get you ready for the rest of the weekend starting at 10 o'clock. So once again, very, very busy Thursday across a bunch of platforms. Stay dry, stay safe, be well, all those kinds of things. And since it is the end of the power hour, it means that I do this.